What's up, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo.
And Bill.
And today we're coming to you with another different kind of review.
Yes.
You remember when we did Watership Down? Well, this movie was written, the novel was written by the same author, Richard Adams.
And directed by the same director
of Watership Down, Martin Rosen.
Plague Dogs.
Now, this is yet another animated movie in the same style, kind of as Watership Down, similar animation style. And it's another kind of fucked up story.
This one, I think, is a little more fucked up.
Yeah, I do too. Because it involves the shit that humans do. So, this one, basically, two dogs that are being experimented on over in England.
Animal testing.
Escape from the clinic. One of them's they took out part of his brain. The other one's been, forced to fucking swim forever until he drowns. And, and just do it over and over and over to him, and they keep reviving him, and he keeps drowning. And it's pretty fucked up. These dogs are pretty much tortured. They escape the facility, and the whole country's after them because they don't want bad press, so they just say it's two rabies dogs.
Yes.
So, it's a fucked up situation. And it talks about the fucked up shit people can do. And it makes you fucking sad. And it's a really good fucking movie. And it's fucking masterfully done.
It's so depressing, but so great.
It's awesome. It's a great fucking movie. But you're right. It's depressing as hell. This is from Shout Factory, by the way. This is a Shout Select.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pick this up if you haven't, because it's worth it.
It is fucking worth it, guys. This movie, like I said, it's fucking depressing as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a lot of heart. This movie has so much heart. The directing, the fucking animation style, it's so good. It's gritty.
It is. It's very gritty. There are two cuts of the film on here. Watch the extended version. That's just my recommendation. Because there were scenes that were actually cut from it because they were too violent, there's some violent shit on this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the dogs go pretty feral, but it's all in here and it's a great story. You'll see what I mean. If you like Watership Down, you'll like this one. And if you're into this is one that could trigger you if you're into, not into, but if you get triggered by animal cruelty shit. But it's such a great story of survival. It's a great story of camaraderie. That's what this movie is truly about. It's about the camaraderie, friendship, and survival. And it's an amazing story. It's really great.
And unlikely camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Unlikely camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Between the two dogs and a fox.
Yep. Now, this was done by MGM, and this is actually their very first animated non-kid movie. It's not made for children. This was the first non-children animation they ever did. This is the first adult animation they ever made. So that's pretty cool because they did quite a few over the years.
Yes, and on a side note for this movie, the first time I ever saw this, I think it was the late 80s? And it was in the public library on VHS.
Nice.
Of course, you didn't have to pay no money. You just had to have a library card.
Yeah.
And, wow, this movie disturbed me as a child.
Yeah, especially for somebody who's a dog lover.
I love dogs.
Now, this had a $1.2 million budget, but it only brought in $423,000.
Oh.
So unfortunately it was not a commercial success, but it is a critical and fan success.
Yes.
This is the longest British animated film. It is 100% hand-drawn. There are no computers, and in the late 80s, when this was made, there were computer animation already, but there was no computers used in this movie. 100% hand-drawn, which is amazing. I love that. And it's only got I should say only, because that's actually a pretty decent score. It's got a 7.7 on IMDb. Very few things get too much higher than that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I didn't write down a ton of likes and dislikes for this movie. because this is just one of those movies that you just kind of got caught up in. And then you had to go back and think about it. So it all kind of revolves around the same thing in a way for me. I'm not sure about you, but I actually had no dislikes for this film.
I have no dislikes for this movie.
Okay.
None. This isn't a masterpiece.
And a lot of it, almost all of my pros, except for one, basically revolve around the writing of this film. I'm just going to list them real quick, and then you can list yours. I love character developments we get in this movie. We learn about these characters. We dive into their lives. We learn about their past. We learn about the way they're reacting to the situation they're in. We get full character development on animals that we probably wouldn't get in a movie about humans. It's so well done. It's so well written. The script is amazing. It's based off a great book. This person had a lot to say. The funny part about this is the author and the director both said this is not an anti-animal testing film or book, but it's been used in anti-animal testing propaganda for decades since it came out.
Yeah.
What this was about was not supposed to be so much about the animal testing, but about the camaraderie and the story of how these two creatures bonded together under the most stressful circumstances, and how they went forward and tried to survive in this world that was after them and just hated them. And it's, remember, all of these movies, all these books that this Richard Adams did, yes, he used animals in these books, but they're human stories.
They are.
The animals are what's the goddamn word I'm looking for? Or metaphor, sorry. They're a metaphor for the human experience. And I just love that. I love it so much. And it's just so masterfully done. And what makes it masterfully done in this is my other big pro, and that is the hand-drawn animation. It's beautiful, and it tells a story within itself. It sells you on the emotion with the way it's drawn. Great comic book writers could do this. Great comic artists could do this. Even without the writing in the book. Certain artists could draw something so well, like Kubrick, not Stanley Kubrick. I think it's Anthony Kubrick. He could draw expressions on faces to make you look like you could just read every emotion that was going on, like you were looking at a photograph. Even though it was a drawn sketch, he had such a gritty style too, but everything was so good. Same thing with like Jim Lee and Alex Ross and George Perez, and so many guys that do such great work on in the graphic, novels and the art and the comic books industry. They did that, and it's almost become a lost art now with animation. And I'm not just talking about the gritty stuff like this, or even gritty like heavy metal, or I'm talking about even the clean looking stuff, the Disney stuff, the hand drawn stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like some of the stuff nowadays. It looks good, cool stuff. They can do a lot of cool effects with the stuff they do in animation now. But I still like the hand drawn more. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so drawn to anime, even though you don't notice it, but a lot of anime is computer animated now.
It is.
Some now. You can tell. Some looks computer animated. But some of it still looks hand drawn, but you don't realize there's computer animation in there.
Yeah.
And I get it, using computers to like put it together, edit, things like that. But like when every frame is drawn by hand,
it's the human touch.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to reiterate some of these pros when you talk about it, because I think you got some of the same. So
yes.
You have the floor, sir.
My first pro, he's already touched on it, the animation. It's fucking beautiful. There is nothing better than hand-drawn animation. It's like CGI versus practical effects. Practical fucking effects will win every time. Except no substitutes. The hand-drawn is amazing. It has that touch. Because if somebody bothers to fucking do this, to put their own hands into this, it means something.
I agree.
It truly fucking does.
That DC documentary thing I was watching yesterday
Yeah.
said kind of the same thing. One of the reasons why comic books are the most intimate form of media, entertainment, whatever now,
Yeah.
is because everything they put down in a comic book is still done by hand. We like comics. What can we say? Call me a nerd. I dare you. Call me a nerd.
You can go into that. I don't give a fuck.
I do. Fuck you. Go ahead.
Man,
Go ahead and finish your stuff, bro. I'm just fucking around.
my next pro for this movie. Oh, fuck. Snithers. The voices in his fucking head.
Snithers is one of the dogs, by the way.
Yes, sorry. Forgot to say that. Snithers is the smallest dog.
Yep.
And the voices in his head, and he knows he's crazy. He knows there's something wrong with him for what people have done to him. But yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, reminds me of you with all the voices in your head. And they're there because I fucked you over. He doesn't know, but he has a scar back here.
But anyways, he realizes that he hallucinates. And at one point, no spoilers,
No
right?
spoilers.
No spoilers.
But he does
Okay.
hallucinate, and that's where we get some of our character development.
Yes.
And if you watch the movie, you'll see exactly why and what happens.
I was about to say something about one of his hallucinations, but it's amazing. No, not going to say anything
And
about it.
it's not, usually with movies this old, we wouldn't mind doing spoilers.
But nobody really
this is an
watches.
obscure film, so we wanted to give it, let you guys check it out for yourself.
I mean, have you ever seen that film before?
Not
showed
that
it
I
to
know
you?
of. I told you if I did, I don't remember it. Like, I remembered Watership Down. I just didn't remember everything about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember anything, ever seeing this. And you and I have known each other for years, and I don't remember us watching it together. So, By the way, 31 fucking years. We met in 1993. 31 fucking years.
92, actually.
Well, that was 93. Okay, well then 32
Thought it
fucking
was
years.
92.
I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares? It's been over 30 years. That's a long fucking time.
Yeah, and we haven't killed each other yet.
Yep. It's amazing, actually. So what you got next, bud?
Actually, it's your turn.
I'm done. I'd said everything I wanted to say.
Oh.
I rambled on for a while. It's your turn to ramble. You go right on
And
ahead.
I've been rambling quite a lot.
There was one thing I forgot to say.
Oh, what?
This movie's from 1982. You have the floor again.
The last thing I have to say about this film is the ending. The ending of this fucking movie is so much of a head fucking trip.
Yep, it fucks you up.
And it makes you feel a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
At least it did for me.
It did for me.
It made me feel sad. It made me feel hopeful.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers,
give
but
away.
it does.
Yeah, it fucks you up pretty good.
And yeah.
You feel like a different person by the time this movie's over.
Yeah.
I know.
Unless you hate animals.
Well, but even like I said, the animals even are a metaphor for, So.
Yeah.
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in to us today. We will catch you next time. Remember, I got that anime series coming up soon, where we're going to talk about dark horror anime. Peace out, y'all.
And Bill saying, good night.